Today is going to be my 6,000 mile review on the Tesla Model 3. I'm actually not going to be doing the outside of the vehicle as much. I'm going to be really focusing on 5 different things. I'm going to be focusing on the seats, the ride quality, autopilot, storage, and the screen on the inside, the one thing in the car. So this is going to be going over those, and then at the end I'm going to be talking about some of the things that I would like to be coming out in the future for the Model 3. I do have 6,000 miles on it now. I picked it up March 31st, so the end of the first quarter of 2018, and I absolutely love the car. We've gone on a couple trips. If you followed the channel, we've gone on a couple trips to Florida, Myrtle Beach, and obviously driving around North Carolina. I'm in the Charlotte area if you're new to the channel, and if you are, subscribe. I'm going to be joined by someone here soon to go over the car with me. He's got a different point of view, but we're very similar. So first thing is the seats. They are comfortable. I have the first generation seats. I don't have the second generation seats, which actually have a little bit more cushion, a little bit more padding. The bolsters are a little bit bigger. But I find that these seats are adequate. I have sat in the second generation seats, and I do like them. They're just a little bit more padding, so I think on a long trip, I think everyone that hasn't gotten theirs yet is going to be pleased with what they're going to be getting. You know, the materials in the car, a lot of people complained. Oh, you're coming in the car now? Okay, I'm already doing this. Anyway, this is Mr. Negative. Obviously, I'm Mr. Positive. How you doing? I love Tesla. He complains a little bit, but you know, you can pipe in if you want to. I will once in a while. I will once in a while. But you know, I'm gonna be leading this. That's fine. Go ahead. Anyway, I'm not stopping you. The materials in the car are actually really nice. I think they're not too high end, because this is not a high end car, even though it is very expensive. It feels very BMW-ish, but not 5 Series or 8 or 7 Series. It feels like the 3 Series, and that's kind of what it's priced around. So what do you think? I think you're right. It's not super high end. I think it's pretty good, but definitely not BMW-ish. Okay. Not the high end anyway. But the materials are easy to clean. I did a whole video on cleaning the interior. You really don't need many things to clean the interior. You do have to be careful of that wood dash. If you haven't done the modification that I've done to it, I've sealed it, but it is open pore wood, so you can actually stain that by spraying things on there, so be careful. That's something Tesla doesn't tell you about. You know, the seats are really nice. They're memory seats based off of your profile. I wish that the profile would interact with the key that you have. Don't you agree? Yeah, that is annoying. I can't wait till they actually change that around. He's got lots of words to say today. But anyway, the seats are really comfortable. The interior is really nice, very spacious. The back seats are pretty good. The back seats are actually, there's a little bit more room in the back seats in the Model S than the Model 3. But my kids, you know, they're teenagers, and we were fine coming back from Florida. It was a long day driving, and they seemed to be fine. I moved my seat up because there's a lot of room up front here. I moved my seat up so they had more room in the back, and it was fine. Do you like the back seats at all? No, I never go back there. Why would I go back there? I'm the driver of the car. Kids go back there. All right, well, it's a good point. I'm never going to be in the back seat either. It's just for kids usually. Adults usually aren't in the back seats unless they're smaller. Unless you're going out with a couple, usually the guy's going to sit up front and the ladies will sit in the back, something like that. Let's move to number 2, the ride quality. The ride quality, this VIN number is 11,880. So I actually have the better springs than what they had originally. A lot of people complained about the springs in the first ones. They were really stiff, and I think they changed out the springs to a softer spring. I don't feel that this is a bad setup. You know, a lot of people complained about they wanted the air ride suspension. I really didn't want the air ride suspension. That's one bad thing, that's one thing that can go bad in the car. I actually like a firm ride like this. I am actually considering lowering springs. It does sit a little too high, I think. And there's some companies out there that make some good springs that lower it just 1 inch, and I think that would be perfect. And I think those springs actually give a little bit better ride quality. I am going to do a video on that, on how loud it is in the car and the vibrations in the car before and after if I get those springs. You gonna help me put those springs on?
Of course. Can I film? I'll get you some wrenches or something.
All right. Figures. More on the suspension later on, and just stay tuned to the videos. Next one is Autopilot. Autopilot is amazing. I use Autopilot all the time. Do you use Autopilot?
Of course. You don't buy a Tesla without Autopilot, in my opinion.
Yeah, it is pretty nice. How it stays in the lane, it's very relaxing to drive in Autopilot. Rush hour traffic, stop and go traffic, you're always having to focus on the car in front of you and really stay alert. And you have to anyway, even on Autopilot, but you know, the stop and go portion of it really is taking the toll on your body. And this just actually makes it a lot better. I actually did a video on going to the service center and coming back. They gave me a gas car as a loaner car, and I checked my heart rate on the way there, and I checked my heart rate on the way back, driving the gas car versus the Model 3 and Autopilot, and it was like 10 beats a minute less. It's just amazing. I mean, I'm more comfortable with the car, but it's just amazing what Autopilot does to you, and you're more relaxed, the stress is off your body, you live longer and you live a better life.
I think that's a stretch, don't you think?
You do have to focus on the road, you have to pay attention, you have to keep your hand on the wheel, somewhere on the wheel, and give it a little bit of torque. It's not perfect system, that's why it's a beta, that's why you have to opt into the beta, and you do have to pay for it. But you know, it's a really good system, and it's going to get better as every month, really. It gets better, and it gets better and better.
Yeah, it's true.
Number 4 is the storage in the vehicle. I was really concerned on our trip to Florida. I thought we weren't going to be able to fit everything in here. And surprisingly, we did. You know, obviously, I would have had more room in the Model S. We would have to charge longer and make one more stop if we took the Model S, but we would have had twice the storage. You know, there's a lot of room in the front. You can actually fit a carry-on bag, a stuffed carry-on bag, plus there's room around the bag up front. And then in the back, there's quite a bit of room. I had the 2 kids in the back on the way back home, and they had all their crap, you know, pillows, blankets, snacks, and all that stuff. We all fit in the car just fine. There was 4 of us on the way home. You know, it worked out just fine. I actually like this car on a long trip. I think Autopilot is a little bit better in the Model 3 than our Model S. We do have 2.0 hardware in the Model S, and this is 2.5, so there's a difference there. But I think this actually is a little bit better because this sits up higher, the camera's up higher, so it can see better, and it's just better overall. The range is longer, so you don't have to charge as long at superchargers. You can get going a little bit faster. So if you're getting the Model 3, I recommend getting the longer battery. I would not wait for the low range battery unless you really barely drive anywhere and you don't plan on taking long trips. You know, that's something that you can do. But there's plenty of storage. I mean, I've actually fit the paddle boards in here. Yes, the trunk can't close because they're 11 feet long, they stick out. And we don't go on the road at all. We're actually just in the development when we do this. I've gone to the lumber yard and picked up 8-foot boards of walnut and poplar, and they fit all the way forward. They don't touch the screen with the trunk closed. That's actually really nice. So, you know, there's a lot of benefits. There's a lot of room in here. I do wish that seat would fold flat.
You gonna let me talk now? If this seat would fold flat, we can actually fit the paddle boards all the way up here, and maybe
yeah,
even
you're
close
right.
them.
If that seat would fold flat, we can actually fit the paddle boards in here, and maybe even close the trunk, or fit even more in here. So you're right on that one. But I think the storage is adequate for the size of the car. I think there's enough room in here. I think there's more room than what a normal car, like say a BMW, has. Especially room in the back seat. I think there's more room in this than there is in a 3 Series BMW.
For sure.
Number 5 is the display. A lot of people were complaining about the display when it first came out. I actually didn't like it when they first showed the vehicle. I didn't like that center screen. It looked like just an iPad floating there, and it looked stupid from everything because, you know, change. A lot of people hate change. I got to ride in it when Yu actually showed up in Charlotte Christmas time. My wife and I headed down there.
I didn't get to go.
And I got to drive his car, which is almost identical to this, except he had the 18-inch wheels. I got to drive it. It's easy to see. Everything's right there. A lot of people complain that nothing's in front of you, but just right there is the speedometer. It's right above your knuckles. You can see it. That's all you really need to see, and many other cars actually have it centered. It's not like Tesla's invented the thing in the center console.
We used to have the Prius that had that in the center console, or in the center area.
It was the Prius had that in the center console,
Many cars
or
had
in the
that.
center too. So a lot of manufacturers have it in the center because it's easier for manufacturing, because just move the steering wheel to the other side. It's easy for production's sake that way.
Yeah, I agree. What else you got?
The navigation screen is quite large. A lot of people complain about the directions on the far right side. I think they are changing that. There's going to be a lot of changes coming in the next few months,
I hope so.
I think, to the screen. But it's really easy to use. Everything's very intuitive there. I like how everything's in one spot. There's really no buttons. And with the screen higher, you actually get more leg room for a tall person. We're both 6'5". When you have to move the seat up because people are in the back seat behind you, there is plenty of leg room because that screen is up a lot higher and it doesn't hit your knee. In the Model S, the screen is vertical, and that piece is always protruding out into my shin or my knee, and it's not that comfortable on a long trip.
I hate that too.
I do have to adjust my knee. Yes, there's autopilot, so I can move my knee quite a bit. I don't have to actually put my foot on the accelerator pedal. This is extremely comfortable for a taller person.
I agree. I agree completely with you. You are very brilliant.
But unfortunately, it is not tilting at all. It doesn't tilt to the driver. It is flat. I have moved this one just a little bit. It was 1.5 degrees. Not much. It's not noticeable. I think anything more than that would be very noticeable, and it would look a little off. But you could actually move it a little bit more. Check out that video. There's a way to do that. But I actually like the screen this way. Do you think you need it tilted more?
I would like it tilted a lot more, like maybe 5 degrees or something like that.
Oh, you would want it tilted more?
Yeah.
You know, everyone has their things, and there is a way to do that, like I said. So, but it is a large display, large backup camera, and actually going from this car to another car, like my parents' car, seeing that little tiny backup camera, I couldn't go back to that. I don't think I can go back to another gas car. Could you?
No, not at all. I hate them. Screw gas.
I don't think I'm going to trade this car for any other car except for a Tesla in the future.
Maybe the Model Y. Why?
Why not?
Because it's expensive.
What I would like to see in the future for the Model 3 and Tesla, things change all the time, so it's kind of cool how it's kind of cool how Tesla does updates on this vehicle and what they do to it. But I would like better LTE connectivity.
Definitely.
It takes a while for the car to hook up sometimes. I do have Wi-Fi in the garage here, but it doesn't stay connected all the time. You leave, and sometimes I'll be out of the development before a song actually comes on that I'm streaming.
It goes into deep sleep.
It's kind of weird that way. I would like a lot less nags when you're driving. Maybe
agree.
it takes in consideration you changing the volume or changing the distance between cars.
That's a good idea.
Or adjusting anything on the screen. It takes that into effect that you don't have to tug the wheel at that point. Anything that you do in the car.
That's a good idea.
A movement in the seat. Something like that could trigger not getting a nag for a little bit longer period of time.
Think about that one, Tesla. You should do that.
What would you like to see?
I would like to see the option of picking your own routes when you use the navigation. Say you want to go somewhere, it picks the route for you. I wish, like on your cell phone, you had like 3 different things there. I wish you can actually choose which one you want. I would like to see more options as far as when you're ordering the vehicle. I would like to see more options as far as wheels.
Yeah.
And, moonroof. They said there was going to be a moonroof. There's no moonroof yet. Some people do want the air ride. So I want to see those options for everyone out there.
I agree.
So, I mean, there's plenty of things they can still do. Maybe color options. A blackout package from the factory.
I would actually like to see free supercharging as a referral bonus, as a benefit.
That's a good
referral. Right now they have.
I agree with that one,
I think
too.
the third referral is actually early access to the charging, the solar roof.
Yeah.
I would like free supercharging for a year when you get to the third one. I think that would be a great benefit to the people that don't have free supercharging for the Model 3s. So those are our thoughts on the Model 3 after 6,000 miles. Just a small review. I think it's an amazing car. I think Tesla's on the right track. And I want to thank everyone at Tesla for making this car. It's a beautiful car.
You done yet? Can we go? Wrap this up. I got places to go, dude.
Let's go. Come on. if you liked the video, hit the subscribe button down below. Check out the description for all the ways to save money and to use our referral program. What's our referral number?
Karen 7537.
There you go. And as always, have a great day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.
See ya.